Hello everyone, I've got the baking stuff out today because it snowed for the first time. So I am going to be making some nice holiday snacks. So I'm starting off by making a flax egg here by adding 1 tablespoon of flax and 3 tablespoons of water to a bowl. I'm going to give this a stir and just put this aside to use later. The first recipe that I'm making today is a cranberry chocolate chip scone. It's a perfect recipe for the holidays, and later in the video I'll be showing you a simple, spicy stovetop popcorn. So I'm going to start with my dry ingredients. I've got 3/4 of a cup of flour here and 1/4 of a cup of instant oats. I'm also going to be adding 1½ teaspoons of baking powder here. Next, I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. And now I'm adding 2 tablespoons of basic white sugar. And finally, a tiny bit of salt. Give your dry ingredients a mix. Now I've got 2 tablespoons of cold plant butter here from the fridge. This works better if you can get kind of a stick style butter rather than a margarine style butter. So I'm just chopping it up into small pieces right now. And then I'm going to be adding that to the dry ingredients. Now the idea here is to try and work the butter into the dry ingredients so that the butter is in very tiny pieces. This is a lot easier to do if you have a pastry blade. This is the perfect time to use it. There you can see sort of the small pieces of butter worked in. So once the butter's worked in, you can add your flax egg, which should have a bit of a gel-like consistency at this point. Then you can add 3 tablespoons of any plant milk. I'm just adding a chocolate oat milk. Now I've got my mix-ins for my scones here. I'm doing chocolate chips and craisins, but you can really do whatever you like. Pecans and almonds would both work great here. And I'm just giving them a rough chop so they're in smaller pieces. Now I'm adding those to my mixture and giving it a bit of a stir. Now at this point I kind of forgot what I was doing, but you should mix this and try and form it into a ball. It's the forming it into a ball step that I skipped because I just haven't made scones in a while. So form it into a ball or don't, it doesn't really matter. And then once you have it into a ball, you can form it into a disc shape here. So I skipped the ball step, but it's no problem. I'm just forming my dough into a nice little scone disc. Once you have your disc shape nicely formed, just cut it into 6 even pieces using a big knife. Now you can place those 6 scones onto a baking sheet. I use a silicone baking mat out of habit, but these are not sticky, so you don't need any sort of parchment paper or silicone liner if you choose not to use one. Now I'm popping the scones into a 350-degree oven for 22 minutes. In 22 minutes, they're perfectly done. Pull them out. They're beautiful. You've got a delicious snack. The cinnamon and the cranberries make these great to enjoy during the holidays or really at any time. Now for our second snack, we're just doing some simple, spicy stovetop popcorn. I've got my pan heating up. I'm adding a little bit of plant butter and a little bit of coconut oil. Next, I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of popping corn, and this is a personal serving size in my opinion. Give that a stir and allow the butter and the coconut oil to melt and coat all those kernels. And then pop your lid on and then wait, and this is on medium heat. Now the kernel should get popping before long, and just let it pop away until the popping slows and there's a few seconds between pops. That's how you know that it's time to get it off the stove before it burns.